Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach, and we're back unboxing games. And today we're going to be unboxing Beyond the Sun. This is one last year that was nominated, I believe, for a few of the Dice Tower Awards, or it was at least talked about a little bit more last year as a Tech Tree the Game type thing, and that sounded like a game that I needed to play and possibly own. So it was one that I was really excited about and had a chance to play it once on Board Game Arena. Enjoyed the experience, even though I was playing part of the game incorrectly, or I think I because Board Game Arena doesn't really allow you to play it incorrectly. I just had thought it in my head incorrectly until I figured out how to do it. Um, but that was a few months ago now, and I'll probably forget what all these things were used for. But I'm definitely excited. It was good. The experience was good enough to still get a copy of the game myself. Um, so let's get into it. I don't know if this is going to be the most beautiful game. I know people give it kind of talk a little bit of trash about it for that. The cover, when I had kind of seen it, not in person, kind of just seen it online and whatnot, I didn't know if I was the biggest fan of the cover, but now that I'm seeing it here, it actually is something that I actually like a lot more than I thought I would. It's a lot it's a lot brighter than I thought it was. For some reason, when I saw it online, it looked a lot more dull. And not saying this is the brightest, most spectacular cover ever. It's still a little bit dull, but it's not nearly as dull as I had originally thought it was. So it gets me even more excited for Beyond the Sun. And I hope you're excited as well. So we can go get some more Rio Grande games. Got a whole booklet of all of them. I'll have to keep that for later. Then we've got a Beyond the Sun rule book, it looks like. Let's see here. And this is probably why I didn't play it all correctly the first time or know what I was doing exactly. And that's because we got 23 pages of rules here. I think it does a pretty good job at explaining what things do and how you take turns. I just don't think I looked at it probably as closely as I should. But looks like a pretty solid rule book. A little long, but worth the read, as they say. Then we've got an explanation of some variable setup for 2 to 3 players, some changes. And we've got an expert variant, which I will be playing very shortly, I'm sure. No, I almost never play with these expert variants that they put on here. I'm not that good at any of these games. But this has the setup for 4 players as well. Not sure why that wasn't part of the rule book, but it was added in there nevertheless. We've got a pretty large board here. I'm not going to get a good camera shot of this whole thing. And we're losing light because we're beyond the sun. This is a huge, huge board. A Tech Tree of a board. It is not a beautiful board by any means. If you like blues, if you like different colors of blue, this board is going to be one of your favorite boards if you just like colors pretty much and you like Tech Tree looking pieces to the board. Now maybe I can turn this board right side up, and we've got, so the only thing that isn't Tech Tree looking is this little side here, which gives you some of the actions you can do throughout the game. But otherwise, I will say I do like the box better than what I had thought I would, but the board itself, not my favorite board. But I do like the back of the board. It has a pretty good look to it. Not too bad. Then we've got another. Oh boy. Oh boy. On Board Game Arena. I don't think I thought this was as big as it is. It definitely deceived me a little bit, I think. So we've got the deep space here. So this is going to take up a lot of table space as well. So yeah, this is another part of the track that you'll be flying around on, taking advantage of. I'm not sure if this is for a different player color or player count. I just know when I played it online it was this side of the board. So I'm not sure what that other one was for. Looks like we've got some punch outs here. Must be one for each player with a list of your turn phases. So what you're going to do during your turns. Then we got game end scoring. It's always nice when they have items like this for each player. Just makes it a little easier to remember kind of what scores points, especially looks like there's quite a few things here that score points, so kind of being able to look at it easily to see and not have to take the rule book out or ask someone is really nice. We've got some more stuff to punch out. Got some basic spacefaring tiles. I do not remember what any of this was for, but pretty thick cardboard. Pretty nice cardboard, punches out pretty easily. Yeah, I think these place over some of the other items in the game. Ooh boy. Dropped some baggies. Then it looks like got some of the player boards here. We've got the United Nations of Seoul, Xingyi Brotherhood, and we've got the Disciples of the Cosmic Tabernacle, and then we got the Nishida Astegard Corporation. And these are some double layered player boards. I always love that. We'll have to see. Obviously on Board Game Arena I was not able to enjoy that, but I do enjoy it in games when they have that double layered. So we'll have to see. It kind of reminds me a little bit of size. It's not quite as deep as those, but I think it should work similarly. And I do like that they each have their own corporation name. And it kind of reminds me of Dinosaur Island, where they have the different ones that you can start with. It looks like we've got a few more here as well. Can't remember if they all do something slightly different. No, these are all the same names. Automation track. I'm probably forgetting, but these are also very nice, pretty solid. They're not too warped. That's something that can happen, I think, when you have the double layers as the boards start to warp. There's a little bit of bend or whatever there, but it's not too bad. And we've got some cards, which I will hand off to my assistant. Ooh boy. And we've got some of these that go into the boards. These little cylinders. We've got the different player colors. We've got orange, blue, white, and like a pink magenta type color. Actually pretty thick, pretty good size. Have some good feel in my hand. Let's see how well they fit in these spots. They fit in there pretty well. They sit in place pretty well if you shake it around. If you were to accidentally bump it or something, they stay in there pretty well. And I was shaking it actually probably more than I wanted to there. I wasn't sure if they'd actually hang in there, but they did. So I was impressed by that. They impressed me. Then we've got some little dice-like things. Some little ships on them of the same player colors. Got some different symbols on each of these. These remind me of the Roll for the Galaxy, I think. Kind of that look, that type of color to them. Kind of have that nicer, almost Easter-looking color instead of maybe the orange. If I remember right, I believe these go in here. Can't remember. I think they go in here as well. Possibly. I don't think these will sit in there like those did, though. I don't even remember if they actually go there. Those do not sit in there as nicely, so if you bump those, you're in a lot of trouble. Then we've got these cards, which have some pretty basic look to them. They're not, I mean, everything's written out pretty clearly. It's not, the writing's not too small or anything, but they're not overly amazing either. They have these different colors as to where you can place them on which track or what you have to have before you can place this card. and they have different symbols, it looks like, for all of those, which is nice. So you can, even if you have color blindness issues, you're able to distinguish between two different types. That's always nice. But I'd say they're not anything overly spectacular, but they get the job done. Card thickness is pretty good. They're pretty good size. You've got some of these as well, which have a little bit more writing. It's not. Some of them have a little bit more than I typically like on writing in these cards, but I can't overly remember if you're supposed to, if you end up getting a lot of those or not. And you have some of these. I do like this artwork a little bit more, but these have some different planets or moons or something on them, so usually spacey type things of that always have a little nicer, interesting artwork on them. Space is such a colorful place. That's what they always say, right? Then we've got the black hole of space. Now we've got some black looking crystals, which look pretty nice. They look like in other games I've seen like ruby type looking things that look like this as well. So yeah, they're pretty solid plastic pieces. And then last but not least, probably the most spectacular part. We've got the different player colors of this as well. I think I dropped one. You got these little markers to put them out on the board to show where you're currently at. So these are definitely probably the top component in this game. I definitely should have ended on this, so that was a good choice by me. No, but I think these dice are really solid. I really like the color choices they picked for this. Usually, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of using like a white or gray, but I think it works here. I think it works with these other colors. And with the way the board is, I think if you got too many colorful colors, it might just not quite fit. We'll see about this insert. The box is a little bigger than your normal box, or not bigger, but longer than your normal box. I don't know if this insert will be great or not. Looks like maybe just take that out. I'm not sure. Might be easiest just to take it out like we do with a lot of our cardboard inserts, but we'll have to see kind of how things fit back in there. Otherwise, I'm getting really excited to try Beyond the Sun again, especially with those tech trees and this now great cover that I was not so sure of before. The board maybe sets me back a little bit, but the rest of it is definitely exciting. What, Pepper, you have some words to say about the board?
That board is beautiful.
Wow.
I thought it was much more plain than it turned out to be.
Oh, well, there you go. Much more plain than it
Or
turned
not.
out.
I mixed up my words. It's a good looking board.
Okay. So, maybe if you like that type of board, there's going to be people out there that do like it, so that's good. Good to know that, not just my opinion here, but there are going to be some people that like it. And I don't know if this will be the game for you, Pepper, but I think you've come on to some of the space-themed games, so you'll give it a try, I'm sure. But anyway, like I said, I'm really excited to play this. If you've made it this far, please leave a like. Also consider subscribing if you want to see more unboxings or other content. I'm sure we will end up playing this and give our first impressions as well. So if you want to be able to see that video, definitely give us a subscribe so you can see when that pops up. But otherwise, thank you for watching. And as always, do not forget to keep on nibbling on our content.